All right, Rob, thank you very much. Smack dab in the heart of the District Capital One Arena, home of the Georgetown Hoyas, and this evening a rematch after these two teams met New Year's Eve and Providence crushed the Hoyas by 16. Tonight they go at it again in a big game here in our nation's capital. Steve Buckhands, Maryland's all-time leading rebounder, Lenny Elmore. Hey, man, that was a great game we just saw, the Seton Hall contest. We'll see how this one stacks up. Both Georgetown and Providence coming off huge wins on Saturday. Both coaches realized the importance of this game.
Well, those wins were the best wins of the season for both of those teams. Georgetown, without their two leading scorers, they took down a pretty good Butler team in Indianapolis, and Providence beat Seton Hall utilizing toughness. If Georgetown wants to stay in the conversation for the NCAA tournament, and if Providence wants to break into it, they need repeat performances.
Well, let's take a look at the standings, and after the Seton Hall victory, they maintain that first place spot at 11-3 with Creighton right there in Villanova. You see Providence right there at 7-6 and Georgetown at 5-7, so they're on the bubble right now. As we take a look at the starting lineup, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee, and for Georgetown, Terrell Allen, fabulous against Butler with 22 points. And for Providence, Alpha Diallo, named Big East Player of the Week on Monday, had 35 against Seton Hall. The good news for the Hoyas, Mac McClung is available to play. They expect him to come off the bench. The bad news for the Hoyas is that Omer Yurtseven will not play tonight, the big 7-footer. He's missing another game with a bad ankle. There's McClung, one of the greatest scorers ever to come out of the state of Virginia, and he'll come off the bench here tonight.
Well, Steve, one thing to look for is what Ed Cooley told us before the game. The team that plays with the most desperation is going to win this thing.
Yeah, and Patrick Ewing said virtually the same thing. His squad has to come out and play like, well, you know what he called them, a bunch of junkyard dogs. Foul called on the first shot of the game. Two fabulous coaches. Here's Ed Cooley, who's in his 9th year at Providence. Last season, the Friars went 18-16. They went to the NIT. They lost to Arkansas. And Patrick Ewing, as you know, second all-time leading scorer in Georgetown history behind Sleepy Floyd. Patrick in his 3rd season as head coach of his alma mater. Allen on a fading shot, no good.
Last possession, the foul was calling Alpha Diallo on the drive. Called him for utilizing that offhand to push off the defender.
So he picks up number 1. Diallo has had 2 fabulous games, one a win, one a loss in recent play. Duke's jumper is a little bit strong, and the Hoyas are there. Georgetown with a fantastic win at Butler Saturday. And they were undermanned. They didn't have McClung or Yurtseven in that game. Allen on the drive, a lot of contact, no call, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Hoyas. There's Patrick in his 3rd year. Last season, his squad went 19-14. His first year, they were 15-15. Last season, they went to the NIT, but lost their first-round game to Harvard. That was their first postseason appearance since 2015. Underneath, it's taken away on a great defensive play.
Yudis Wahab brought the ball down and allowed the defender to strip him. And Wahab's going to be very important. He's obviously going to provide the inside to the Georgetown inside-out game. Omer Yurtseven, obviously on the bench in civilian clothes, not playing this one.
Shot clock under 10. Diallo. Watson's shot a little strong, and the Hoyas have it. Still waiting to get our first field goal and our first points. Mosley, his pass nearly knocked out of bounds.
Both these teams play pretty strong man-to-man, as we said. The intensity is revved up as we get towards the end of the season.
Neither team has taken particularly good shots so far.
Yeah, shot clock running down, and Blair obviously felt he had to launch.
Pipkins. Duke for the long 3. That's off the rim. So Georgetown will slow it down a little bit here, get directions from Ewing.
Looking to try to get that high screen and roll. More patterned execution is what Georgetown's looking for right now.
Again, Wahab has it knocked away from him and a turnover.
Young fella's getting in bad habits, but back the other way.
Blair will take a long three. And there it is at the 16:54 mark, the first field goal of the game. When these two teams played on New Year's Eve, Providence ran out to a 14-0 lead and coasted pretty much the rest of the way.
Yeah, in the beginning of that game, Providence just out-toughed Georgetown and shot lights out.
Drive inside, that's off the glass. And a foul is going to be called on the Hoyas. It'll be on Terrell Allen.
Well, take a look here on the steal, the push by Allen, and then he finds Javon Blair. And you talk about the hot player. Blair with 16 against Butler in their last game, but in the last 4, and ironically with Matt McClung out with injury, Blair's averaged almost 22 points a game, shooting 44% from beyond the arc. He has taken great advantage of the opportunity. Plus, he's played 40 minutes a game in each of those 4 games.
Another foul is called. It's going to be a hold on Georgetown. It's on Jamarco Pickett. A lot of guys are playing 40 minutes for Patrick Ewing lately with this team undermanned. But you know what? He says, hey, this is a time of year when you got to go, and they like playing 40 minutes, most of these guys.
Absolutely. Nobody keeps count on the playground how many minutes
That's right.
Guys don't seem to get tired.
Jamie Lucky with some words for Alpha Diallo. The veteran Lucky, the referee, working today with Matt Potter and Nathan Farrell. Spinning inside. Turnaround shot is off the mark as Watson couldn't get it to fall. Pickett goes the other way. A lot of contact, gets it back and puts it in.
Well, Jamarco Pickett, he's one of those guys. He's got so many tools. He needs to assert himself. Double figures against Butler in the last game. But you see him driving his aggressiveness with his length and create problems.
Friars trying to get a field goal. They've begun 0 for 5 from the field and now 0 for 6. And that putback misses. Strong drive, flips it up with the left hand. Javon Blair knocks it down, and Ed Cooley is going to take a timeout.
And we talked about it taking advantage. Javon Blair off the bounce on the drive, normally played for his outstanding jump shot. And Jamarco Pickett doing what he's capable of.
That score on your screen is also indicative of how Providence has shot the ball. They have missed all 7 of their shots to begin this game with 2 turnovers. Patrick Ewing told us before the game the win at Butler was the biggest of his career so far here at Georgetown in 3 years, and he likened his squad to a bunch of junkyard dogs.
Yeah, as we mentioned, playing without their 2 leading scorers, he had to not only get outstanding performances like Javon Blair's, but also they played scrappy basketball, something that started when this man got the program off the ground in the early 70s.
Coached on the hilltop from 72 to 99, John Jr. inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1999. Of course, his son, JT3, coached the squad for 13 seasons, beginning in 2004.
Georgetown in a 1-2-2 full court press, looking to continue to speed the game up. Got the length of Jamarco Pickett out front, making it difficult.
Boy, that got away with a push-off, it looked like, as Watson gets the rebound. The shot clock continues. It did not touch the rim. Watson trips inside, and that is the 3rd turnover by the Friars, who have yet to hit a field goal and haven't scored.
Well, let's recognize it's not surprising as we take a look at getting into the paint. That's just a slip and just a poorly executed move by Watson. But Providence ranks in the bottom 3 in points per game, 9th, field goal percentage last, and 3-point percentage 8th. So they've had difficulty putting the ball in the basket pretty much all season.
Beautiful move up and under in the score. As Terrell Allen, coming off that 22-point performance at Butler, where he was 9 of 14 from the field, knocks that one down.
And those rankings I spoke of are in the Big East.
Georgetown off to a 9-0 start. Gant for three, wouldn't go. Kick it out to Pipkins, and he knocks it down. So the first field goal coming at the 14-19 mark of this first half.
Well, the one thing that'll neutralize poor shooting would be offensive rebounding. And Providence, #1 in the Big East and in the top 10 in the nation with almost 14 offensive rebounds per game. So if you're going to miss, you might as well get them back and get the second and third opportunity.
Absolutely. Great pass inside, and Qudus Wahab knocks it down.
And the reason that happened was good ball movement from side to side, ball reversal, stretched out that zone and created an opening where Wahab just stepped in and his teammates found it.
Oh, great block shot. But Diallo keeps it alive. White the jumper. Here comes Javon Blair. He's been tremendous shooting the ball. That one's off the iron. Pipkins for Providence. Baseline, it's White. Contact, and he'll go to the line. Fouls on Qudus Wahab, and 2 shots coming for Malik White.
And that's what Providence needs to do right now. You hit one of these droughts, you can't just settle for the jump shots, which Georgetown was inviting the Friars to take. You've got to be more aggressive, put some pressure on the defense.
Coming into the game for Georgetown is Matt McClung, wears #2. Along with Timothy Igoefe, who had a couple of big plays in the game against Butler.
And McClung missed 4 consecutive games with a foot injury. And prior to that, though, he wasn't exactly lighting up the basket, shooting only 29%. So he's got to find a way to get himself on track quickly.
Yeah, he's got to find some rhythm, and clearly he's capable of doing that. You'll see if he is able to find the rhythm. He was one of the top shooters ever to come out of the state of Virginia. Broke a couple of records. Broke one of Allen Iverson's. Broke one of J.J. Redick's in high school. Here he takes that first shot, and it's way short.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to get in the game in one pass and you're launching. You got to get a feel a little bit before you're going to take a shot. And that shot was a little bit off balance as well.
Sure was. Emmett Holt is in the game for Providence, wears #15.
But then again, shooters are going to shoot, so
why not?
You got to expect that.
Especially in this day and age, when they're telling you to launch it from everywhere. Little double team on Holt. And McClung with the steal. Nice move, goes strong. A lot of contact, no call.
Yeah, that's tough.
Knocked away beautifully by Blair.
Guess the officials are letting everybody play. McClung's going to try to draw a foul there.
And they'll call a jump ball. Wow. There was a tremendous amount of contact as McClung tried to get the foul called, but they called a jump ball instead.
Georgetown leads the Big East in assists because they move the ball so well. Look how they spread the defense by moving and reversing the ball, and that way they found some gaps. And that's what they do well. Everybody gets a chance to touch.
Possession arrow is in favor of the Hoyas, so they'll remain in possession. Pickett. This time the foul is called, and he's going to the line.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to kind of make Georgetown a bit shy going to the basket, not getting fouls called. McClung twice could have called a foul right there, but here, certainly Young stepped in, made the contact.
Collectively, the Hoyas are one of the best free throw shooting teams, not just in the Big East, but in the nation. They average 77% from the line. That's second in the conference, 17th in the country. And just as I say that, Pickett misses the first.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, I figure you wouldn't. the curse of the announcer and gets the second. He's a 76% shooter on the season, and they'll get Allen back into the game, and he'll replace Javon Blair.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing has had to play with McClung on the bench for those 4 games. Had to play a couple of his guys, Blair, Mosley, as well as Allen, and played him significant minutes.
Again, the shot is short. This time by Duke. Mosley the other way.
You know, Ewing told us that he's got to get Mosley a little bit of rest since he's played so many different roles.
And that time Holt with a little bit too much contact. And Jamarco Pickett will go back to the free throw line. Hoyas up by 7. Going to commercial. Ed Cooley.
There's going to be mistakes in the game. We're leaving points on the board underneath the rim. Right now, all of us are complaining about everything under the sun. When you have opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. Bottom line, there's nobody waiting. There's no time to wait. You got to do your due.
Lenny, Ed Cooley told us before the game, if he doesn't see a body flying out of this arena on the very first play, something's not right. The guy's coming out of the game. I mean, he's expecting a lot from his team here tonight.
But surprisingly calm in trying to encourage his team. He did mention leaving points on the board. 5 offensive rebounds, only 3 second chance points. He's just trying to get his guys calm now instead of playing with anxiety.
Yeah, and the 3 turnovers haven't helped either. And a traveling is going to be called on Jamarco Pickett.
I mean, here's a team that's shooting 1 of 14 from the field. You can't yell at him. You can't scream at him, because that creates even more anxiety. So you try to encourage and calm them down, point out some areas of shortcoming. But as he said, it's a long game, and indeed it is.
Malik White for Holt.
Nice job there, flattening out with the hard heads by Pickett.
Diallo, the jumper, good. And with that field goal, Alpha Diallo has just moved into 15th place on the Providence all-time scoring list, and he just moved past John Thompson Jr.
Wow.
How about that?
How's that irony?
Yeah. Thompson, who finished up his career there in 1964. Mosley, wild shot. Trying to get his own rebound, but Duke has it. Diallo, good defense that time by Pickett. Lead down to 4.
Can you imagine shooting 2 of 15 from the field and you're only down 4?
Yeah. Been a crazy physical game, and it's now down to 1. So the Georgetown lead has quickly evaporated, and it's a ball game again.
You got to give Coach Cooley a lot of credit again, as I mentioned, getting his team calmer, allowing them to play more relaxed.
Jamarco Pickett knocks down a long ball, and the Hoyas go back up by 4. Pickett with 6 points and 5 rebounds so far. Diallo, this time he drives. Met there on the baseline. Good defense by the Hoyas, and the rebound by Ego Efe. Into Ego Efe. It's swatted away from behind by Diallo. Terrific defensive play.
Boy, it seems like Providence is not playing Ego Efe, because he's getting it wide open down low, and then a terrific delivery. Strong to the basket by Khalif Young. Georgetown forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, fabulous pass and 2 points in the paint, and it's a 2-point game. We've got a ball game again after Georgetown jumped out to a big lead, and as we told you, Alpha Diallo needed just 1 field goal, his first of the game, to move past that man, the legendary John Thompson. who totaled 1,520 points for his career at Providence when he finished up in 1964. Diallo just moving ahead of that and into sole possession of 15th place. Diallo named the Big East Player of the Week on Monday. Had a career week. In a couple of games, he had 2 double-doubles, including the career-high 35 in the big win over 10th-ranked Seton Hall. He went 11 of 15 from the field in that game, including all 5 of his long-range shots. And a turnover by the Hoyas. Pulled away by White.
Yeah, poorly conceived play by Marco Pickett on the baseline drive. But Providence, again, defensively, you know, that's where they make their hay.
A.J. Reeves will try the paint. Needs help. Holt for 3. Got it. Nothing but net for Emmett Holt, who was scoreless in the win against Seton Hall. Only took 1 shot.
Emmett Holt's a great Providence story. You know, spent a lot of time on the bench with injuries over the last couple of years. Intestinal surgery last year. Played just 6 games. And he's coming here as a graduate student, trying to help his team's cause.
Pickett can't get that shot. Friars on an 11-3 run. And a foul is called on Georgetown. Here's this last shot. You talked about Emmett Holt. And there's a timeout on the field. On the court, the Friars are hanging in there, and they've come back to take the lead by 1.
When we dig, we got to dig. We need stunts. When it's stunts, then we got to get back. We got to execute our offense. All right?
Lenny, if you value analytics, and a lot of people seem to be going in that direction, Providence has gotten back in this game with the long ball. They're 4 of 7 from three-point range. They're just 1 of 13 shooting 2-point field goals.
Yeah, and that's what Patrick Ewing was talking about. If guys are out there, you want to stunt. In other words, you're going to help out, kind of fake towards the ball handler, but then you got to get back to your man. And what's happening is Providence's ball movement is finding the open man despite the stunts, because Georgetown's not getting back quickly enough.
The Friars have outscored the Hoyas 11-3 to come back and take the lead after they were down 9-0, and this will be an offensive foul as they'll call a hook down low. And this is going to be on Nate Watson.
We'll take a look at Nate Watson. I'm not sure. I didn't see it. I saw the defender's arm.
Yeah. It looked that way, but
Igwefe looked like he had his arm around Watson, but nevertheless, the official made the call. But to give Providence a lot of credit, their bench has outscored Georgetown 10-0, and that's been kind of the turnaround. Malik White, Khalif Young, Emmett Holt have put points on the board. Georgetown hasn't been able to match.
And it's a turnover. Holt got that started when he knocked the ball away from Igwefe.
Georgetown's 5th turnover right now. They're not executing offense as Patrick Ewing exhorted them to do during that timeout we listened to.
Javon Blair. And a foul will be called on Georgetown. And it's a holding foul going to be charged to Terrell Allen.
And I think that was just a product of being the aggressor. Many times to the aggressor go to calls. And even though Allen has it, Duke really battles him for it.
Seemed like they were both locked up, had their arms locked up together. And Allen gets called for the foul. George Murison was in a moment ago, but he comes out of the game, and Mac McClung is back in for the Hoyas. Good drive, strong off the glass, too hard.
Well, too strong. You got there, but you got to be able to lay it up softly. David Duke did an excellent job beating the defense.
Flip-up shot doesn't go, but a foul is called. Georgetown has made just 1 field goal in the last 8 minutes.
And remember, we talked about it earlier when Ed Cooley told us about guys flying in the air. He wanted his players to be tough, and I think that's also made a difference. Despite the fouls, nevertheless, the physical play that Providence is exhibiting right now, it's kind of thrown Georgetown off balance a little bit by comparison to the way they started the game.
And he said there's really no mystery about this. We have to play with desperation. And we have to play like this is for all the marbles. Good move by Pickett. Some contact, and he draws the foul. It's on Malik White, his first. And Jamarco Pickett back to the free throw line. From D.C., played his high school ball at Eastern High School here in the district. 12 points at Butler on Saturday. And he shot it pretty well. Had not been shooting it well in his previous 4 games before the Butler game. Was just 7 for 41 from the field, just 17%. But every one of those players, according to Patrick Ewing, played a huge role in that victory at Butler. Young, pass inside, and a foul called. And it looks like it's on Mac McClung for a hold. That'll be his first.
Yeah, it looks as though Providence recognizing McClung is not the strongest defensive player. They're utilizing some screens and some cuts to the basket. Again, putting a lot of pressure on McClung, forcing him to grab hold. We see him again trying to go through the screen. Lost his man.
A.J. Reeves knocks down a long ball. That's his first field goal of the game. And Providence goes up by 2, so a nice comeback by the Friars here after Georgetown got off to a quick start.
Providence with the 2-3 zone kind of matching up a little bit, keeping Georgetown at bay for the most part.
Blair stops and fires up. Nicely done.
Well, again, it was a ball reversal that spreads that defense out and creates gaps. And that time Blair took full advantage off the bounce, got to an open spot, just elevated and knocked it down.
7 points for Javon Blair. Young's shot is off the rim, but a nice rebound by Diallo, who slips inside and kicks it out. White wide open for 3. That's not close. And a foul is called.
Well, again, just coming off the screen, McClung too late to be able to keep him from turning the corner, and that little bit of penetration forced Georgetown to help, and that created the open look. And then Mosley, spreading the defense off the penetration, just gets it to Blair, who, again, puts it on the floor and gets to an open gap where he can knock down the jumper.
Jagan Mosley is at the line.
You gotta like this young man's game. Senior, understands how to play. Team's best defender. You know, I call him the Swiss Army knife for this team because he plays the other team's best offensive player. He runs the show offensively. And remember St. Anthony's, the legendary St. Anthony's, coached by Bob Hurley Sr. in New Jersey. He was in that last graduating class, a valedictorian. So, you know, IQ in basketball particularly off the charts.
Yep.
Let alone academically. I like that kind of guy.
We all do. You have to like kids like that are great players but good students as well. He was a player of the year on a 32-0 state championship team as well. And that basket will not count as a foul is called. Eagle F.A. charged with a foul, so bonus coming for the Friars. Come off that huge win over 10th ranked Seton Hall Saturday, 74-71. After losing at St. John's a week ago, 80-69, and some of that inconsistency really playing on Ed Cooley at this point. I mean, his team's had some gigantic victories, but some losses that he'd love to have back.
Yeah, we talked about it. They beat Butler. They beat Creighton, obviously shooting the ball well against Creighton, playing outstanding defense against Butler. and then commanding the glass against Seton Hall. But then they turn around and lose to Xavier, who's behind them in the standing, and they lose to St. John's.
Reeves will be called for the foul. So both these squads are trying to get into the tournament, and the officials meantime are going to check this to see if it's a three-point attempt. But there's the Hoyas tournament resume as we speak.
Yeah, you take a look at the NCAA evaluation tool and ranking within the top 50. Big wins against Butler and Creighton, and when you take a look at, we have a chance, as they're projected to be the last four in by Mike DeCourcy, our bracketologist.
Yep.
You take a look. Let's see if that's a three. That right toe is within, or actually outside the line.
And there's the foul on the arm by Reeves.
3 shots.
So 3 coming for Georgetown.
But I was going to say, with Georgetown's upcoming schedule, they've got plenty of statement opportunities at Marquette, at Creighton, and certainly Villanova at home. They got an opportunity to improve their standing, but it all begins with this one. You got to take care of business at home.
Absolutely, as Providence did when these teams met back on New Year's Eve. No celebrating that night for the Hoyas, as they were blitzed from the opening tip by the Friars, and even though they got it somewhat close in the second half, Providence really was in control most of that game. Coming up for them, Saturday home against 19th ranked Marquette, then at Villanova. They finish up with 2 at home against Xavier and DePaul.
And so Providence has some statement opportunities as well. In this game, this is a quad 1 opportunity for Providence. You know, when they're ranked 1 to 75 in the evaluation tool, and you're playing on the road, the team that you're playing against 1 to 75, you know, that's a pretty good win. Georgetown, this is a quad 2 kind of opportunity for them, playing a team ranked between 31 and 75, playing them at home. And Providence is 58.
Diallo's shot is a bit off the rim, and the Hoyas come away with it after making 2 of 3 free throws to go up by 3.
But one thing Georgetown has done is kept Alpha Diallo in check, only 1 of 7 from the field. After we mentioned before, 35-point game against Seton Hall.
Pass out, long shot up, a little bit short, and an excellent rebound offensively.
And that's Alpha Diallo once again crashing the offensive glass.
But the turnover, and here come the Hoyas. McClung goes into paint. He really got wrapped up hard by Pipkins. And Mac McClung, it looks like, is going to be headed to the free throw line. Crisp day in our nation's capital. Nice one. And we got a good ball game going on here. The Hoyas by 3. All right, Rob, we're looking forward to that. I saw how Seton Hall won that game. So did you, Lenny. That was amazing. And I want to see it again because that was a heck of a play.
Yeah, it was. 0.6 of a second and just inbounded the ball and a tip in. But we're talking about this game, the ability of Providence to get back in the ball game with excellent ball movement, finding open spots after penetration beyond the arc, shooting the ball extremely well, 5 of 12. But then again, when you take a look at Georgetown throughout this season, they haven't been very good at guarding the three-point line. 10th in the Big East in opponents' three-point percentage. Opponents shoot about 35% from beyond the arc.
They haven't had to worry about guarding the two-point jump shots because Providence only made 1 of them in 15 attempts. Just 7%, but as you said, shooting 42% from long range as McClung gets a couple of free throws. And the Hoyas go back up to stretch their lead to 5. Steve Buckhantz, Len Elmore with you courtside at Capital One Arena here on FS1. Glad you're with us tonight. Both these teams coming off gigantic victories Saturday and trying to finish out this season strong to see who might creep in to the big dance. Diallo knocked away. Nice play defensively, and the Hoyas have it.
McClung lost the handle trying to throw a bounce pass. That steal was created by excellent defense rotation by Georgetown. But here they just can't find the shooters beyond the arc in a scramble mode. You've got to be able to identify who can knock it down.
They left Diallo wide open. and he knocked down his second three-pointer. In the meantime, McClung is shaken up as the Hoyas have to stop play, and he comes to the sideline. And it looks like he might be headed to the locker room to be with a trainer.
Looks like a slight limp.
Yeah.
Not to guess too much, but I would imagine been out for 4 games with a foot injury.
Yep. Injury was suffered in practice. So just when they got him back, now he's out for now, and Georgetown is not playing tonight. He's in street clothes.
But Georgetown's been there, done that. And that was pretty good as well.
Von Blair off the glass on the running jumper. He's got 9 points. He has been everything Georgetown has asked him to do. He had 16 at Butler. And he's played all 40 minutes in each of their last 4 games. As the Friars come back with 2 in the paint. Young scores. He's got 5. And Georgetown turns it over. White. And they'll set it up. Diallo fires for 3. Got it. Nothing but net. And the Friars go up 1.
Once again, beyond the arc. This time, challenged. Yet Alpha Diallo knocking it down.
That's 3 3-pointers by Alpha Diallo. He's 3 of 4 from long range and has 9 points. And a little bit too much body for Khalif Young, and they call him with a foul.
Well, take a look at what happens. Mac McClung, closest to your screen, kind of bottom right, number 2. He's just running down the floor, no contact or anything. Then suddenly he starts to hobble.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand on his head, asking to come out.
Boy, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that was no contact. And may have just stepped the wrong way on that foot. But as I said, Georgetown's been there before. They beat Butler in Indianapolis without Georgetown or McClung.
Right.
So this is not necessarily a new experience for them to play without their 2 leading scorers.
I mentioned McClung. He broke the single-season scoring record that was held, ironically enough, by Allen Iverson. And he shattered J.J. Redick's mark for a career with over 2,800 points, playing down at the Gate City, Virginia, town of about 2,000 in southwest Virginia, the Tri-Cities area that straddles Virginia and Tennessee.
And Georgetown trying to play a bit of a matchup as well in the zone.
Duke. White takes the jumper, nails it.
Well, that time Providence kind of used their man-to-man offense against the matchup zone, setting screens, and just creating enough room for the ball handler to get to an open spot unchallenged.
Only had 2 points against the Hall, but he's got 7 here in the first half for Providence. Allen trying to fight through defenders, splitting them, but a foul is called, and it's on Diallo.
Yeah, not an advisable move, but nevertheless got bailed out by the defense. Allen was about to drive himself into trouble.
We're in a bonus situation. A couple of shots are coming for Terrell Allen.
I think what Georgetown needs to do, once again, against Providence, whether it's the man or zone, is continue to move the ball, reverse the ball, create those gaps and drive, and then find the open man. That's where they've had some pretty good success. You can drive or you can pass, particularly to your man inside, Ego Efe.
This will be the 15th free throw shot in the half by Georgetown. Providence has been to the line just 4 times. They've made 3 of them. Hoyas by 1. 35 seconds to play in the half. Diallo, that's just his second miss from long range. Here's Blair.
Didn't look like he was ready. Didn't have his legs under him. He caught it beyond the arc. Had his hands all over it, but figured he might as well shoot it as Georgetown holds for the last shot.
About a 4-second difference between the clocks. for three. How about that? Back the other way, the long shot by Duke is a little bit short. And that is the end of the first half. Well, the Hoyas opened up this game on a 9-0 run, and they close it out with a long ball.
Well, Patrick Ewing wanted execution off the penetration by Allen. You see Javon Blair circling. Allen knew exactly where he was, as if he had eyes in the back of his head.
14 points for Blair. Pickett had 8 and 6 rebounds, and Diallo led Providence with 9 points and 5 boards. Our score at the half, Georgetown 34, Providence 30. After these messages, we'll join Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, and Jim Jackson in our LA studio for the Jeep Grand Cherokee Halftime Report. You're watching FS1 College Hoops. Some folks are rooting for Georgetown. Some folks are rooting for both. As in the case of that young lady in the white shirt, that's Olivia Cooley, who is a freshman at Georgetown, the daughter of Providence head coach Ed Cooley, there with her mom. She loves it at Georgetown. She has a great time there, but as you can imagine, she's got some serious feelings for her dad and his head coaching abilities. Steve Buckhantz and Lenny Elmore, that was great to see. I know she's having a great time here tonight.
Absolutely, and they have to be happy with the fact that Providence began this game 1 of 14, and since then shot 9 of 18, including a pretty good 7 of 15 from beyond the arc to get them this close.
Yeah, that's what's keeping them in the game. Georgetown has only hit 3 three-pointers, but they've been to the free throw line 15 times and made 13 free throws. So that's where they have their lead by 4 as we get set to start the second half. So Ed Cooley's team, 14 and 12 on the year, 7 and 6 in the conference. And the Georgetown Hoyas come in 15 and 10, 5 and 7 in the Big East. They opened up the half with a 9-0 run to start this game, but Providence came back and grabbed the lead. Duke for 3 off the iron, and the rebound to Jamarco Pickett.
Good conception. Just didn't have a chance to knock it down. Got a wide open shot.
Have not heard further word about Mac McClung, who left the game in the first half. Inside, Wahab knocked it away. We'll wait for an update on McClung. He walked off the court limping. He was able to play tonight after missing 4 games. Omer Yurtseven, the big 7-footer, is not in the lineup tonight as Nate Watson scores. Watson gets his first 2.
Extremely strong move by Watson, looking to assert himself.
Yeah.
And as we said, Georgetown has played, they won big games, particularly the Butler game, without their 2 leading scorers. But what's significant right now is that the Friars bench has outscored Georgetown 15-2.
And that is Terrell Allen, who stepped on the sideline and turned the ball over.
You know, and you wonder if the depth is going to become a factor. Yeah, it looked as though he stepped on, I guess it was one of the Providence players. Might have been Dempsey. I'm sorry. Might have been Pipkins.
Pickett knocks it away, but the Friars get it back.
Couldn't see the number 1 with the 12 in there, but
well, the defense has been strong for both teams. Duke fires one up, no good. The rebound to the Hoyas, it's Pickett. Georgetown opens the second half with 2 straight turnovers. Oh, strong move off the glass and in for Terrell Allen. Former DeMatha star from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, not far from here.
Boy, Pipkins had an opportunity to score, or at least to draw a foul, but he just pulled up.
They go back down low to the big man, and Nate Watson scores. He's another guy who's got local ties, played at Bishop Dennis J. O'Connell High School in Arlington, Virginia, right across the river.
Well, the push by Georgetown, you recognize that this is what they want to do, the pace at which they want to go. Terrell Allen fully understands that. Gets head and shoulders past his man, And then with the extended arm, uses that glass nicely. Georgetown keeping their lead.
Up-to-date statistics sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee, and the Hoyas, Lenny, have made 10 field goals tonight, but have 10 turnovers as well, and that's hurt them.
Yeah, Providence with the 14 points off turnovers. Georgetown has been able to keep it level for them, despite not shooting the ball well, by getting to the free throw line pretty often. But again, look at the bench points, and in the long run, will Providence and their depth have some impact on this game.
And you can see the free throw shooting. Georgetown 13 of 15, Providence just 3 of 4. Well, we talked about Mac McClung, who was coming off the bench tonight, and this is where we think he might have turned something, but we can tell you that he will not return in tonight's game, and that's huge for Georgetown. They were hoping to get perhaps both him and Yurtseven back. We knew before the game Yurtseven wouldn't play, and he's in street clothes, and now McClung is out for the rest of this one tonight.
Yeah, you take a look. He looked like he either stepped awkwardly or maybe stepped on Pipkins' foot. Either way, obviously it's set him back after returning from a 4-game absence because of a foot injury.
And he did not play in the first meeting between these two teams, which was a 16-point Providence win. Floater bounces in. Nice play by Jagan Mosley.
And Mosley aggressive to the basket, utilizing the baseline. And Providence trying to get in the grill of the Georgetown players, and Georgetown recognizing that if you put it on the floor, take to the basket hard, you're going to find some opportunity either for yourself or someone else.
There's Omer Yurtseven, averaging over 16 points and 10 rebounds a game. Clearly they miss him, but they've played well without him, and McClung for that matter. That was evident in their win at Butler Saturday. Off-balance shot goes. Nice play by Pipkins, who's got 5 points. Down low, Wahab inside with a big basket. Qudus Wahab, who played his prep ball over at Flint Hill, the same school that produced Dennis Scott.
Yurtseven loved that. A nice job by Wahab inside.
Pretty play from the corner. A.J. Reeves knocks down a 3, and
Mosley
he's down. There was a lot of contact. Let's take another look at this. You know, they're calling flopping now, but I don't think this was a flop.
On the drive right here, look at that left arm.
Yeah.
The chicken wing, and it looked like it got him as he grabbed near his solar plexus.
Yes. Always difficult when you get hit in the solar plexus.
Absolutely. That should have been an offensive foul.
Not really sure where the solar plexus are, but we know they're up there somewhere. Talk to an astronomist about that.
Mosley's still in the corner trying to catch his breath.
Yeah, I mean, he got hit pretty hard. That was not a flop, even though they're looking at that this year, as we know, and that's going to be a reach-around foul called on David Duke. What do you got, Len?
Well, Omer Yurtseven not in the game, but Qudus Wahab really demonstrating some growth in his game. Terrific seal on Watson that time. Gave the target and then drop step to the basket. That's quintessential big man play.
Yeah, he's a big man, too. Here's Pickett trying to make something happen. Nice play off the glass. Score the field goal, and he'll go to the line.
Well, Jamarco Pickett, as I said, 6'7", but with a 7-footer's reach. And when he gets a mismatch, he's got to take advantage of it with that size. And certainly, in this case, he's able to have his way against David Duke.
Back on New Year's Eve, and Providence raced out to a 14-0 lead. Georgetown missed its first 7 shots of the game. They didn't even get their first points until the 13:37 mark of the first half. Friars led by as many as 33 in the first quarter. Went on to shoot 54% from the field. They knocked down 10 3-pointers in that game, and they held the Hoyas to just 37% shooting. Diallo led Providence with 20, was 7 for 12 in the game. And it was all Providence as they won it 76-60.
I think it was the uniforms, though.
You think so?
See those bright blue.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Georgetown wear those uniforms.
Again?
No, I don't think they will. They started out really ice cold.
Oh, it was horrible. Patrick said, once you dig a hole like that against somebody, it's very tough to come out of, and they never could.
Yeah, his word was cavernous.
That's what it was, exactly. A cavernous hole.
It's another dump down low and a good, strong move once again by Nate Watson, utilizing those big shoulders, sealing his man with a little jump hook.
Qudus Wahab was called for the foul. That's his third. And Watson at the free throw line.
Taking the court for Providence, number 4.
Not many free throws for Providence. That was their 5th, coming up as their 6th. And one of the big reasons is they haven't really been nearly as aggressive. They've probably read the scouting report. Georgetown doesn't guard the three-point shot very well, and they've made taken an awful lot of advantage of that. But you got to balance it. You get to the free throw line, particularly working down the stretch in a close game situation. You want to have that opportunity.
Nate Watson with 6 points, all in this half, and a kick ball will be called. In fact, Nate Watson, who I mentioned played at O'Connell High School, which is over in Arlington, just across the river, not even 15 minutes from here, played for Joe Wooten, who is the son of the late Morgan Wooten, who we just lost a month ago. Javon Blair with a field goal. Providence now 4 of 6 from the field in this half. Georgetown has not missed. They made all 5 of their shots from the field.
That was a terrible miscommunication by Providence. Just leaving the guy wide open in the paint.
Speaking of that,
turnabout is fair play.
Emmett Holt knocks one down off the glass.
Both teams not communicating defensively. No one should ever be that wide open in the paint. We've seen it consecutive plays.
Boy, another terrific play. Terrell Allen scores. And the former DeMatha star has 8.
And Patrick Ewing's team starting to play the way he's aptly described it, like junkyard dogs. Yep. Without their 2 leading scorers, they're finding guys to step up and get the job done.
Blair looking for Wahab down low, and a reach-in foul will be called on Watson. And on Nate Watson, he just picked up his 3rd.
Yeah, Terrell Allen, once he got the starting job after the defections and transfers over an 18-game period, averaging 10 points, 5 assists, and only a little over 2 turnovers per game. He's been the steady point guard for this team if they truly needed it.
Pickett went to make a move, but forgot the basketball, and it went off him. And that's a Georgetown turnover.
Yeah, especially when your point guard is calling for it. You know, looking to set something up. You've got to pay attention to the team game and kind of suppress that individualism.
That's the 11th miscue by Georgetown. Providence has committed 8 turnovers. And that was knocked out of bounds by the Hoyas. Well, right after the loss here to UNC Greensboro, James Akinjo, who's one of the Big East players, freshman of the year last year, left the program with LeBlanc. They were transferring, and they lost a couple other guys as well.
And those guys, about a month or 2 ago, Patrick Ewing was calling their future core. But he's starting to recognize he's got some other guys out here who can do battle. And they've adjusted very well despite the loss of significant players.
Pickett drives, needs help. Blair in the paint, a lot of contact, and he'll shoot 2. Good move by Javon Blair.
And when Georgetown is at their best, that's the kind of ball movement they require. You got to get everybody involved and then find your openings. And again, we're talking about Javon Blair being a guy that stepped up offensively. is repeated again the last 4 games, particularly those 4 games that Mac McClung hasn't been playing. Blair's averaged almost 22 points a game.
Yeah, shooting 44% from the field. And as we said before, playing every single minute. 17 points in this game for Blair, so he's approaching those numbers again. Last season, he averaged just 4 points a game.
There's another Canadian star.
Yep.
Across the border to come here and regale us with his talents. There's a lot of young men coming out of Canada right now.
From Brampton, Ontario.
Really demonstrating that they play ball north of the border as well.
A pretty play by Khalif Young, who had 5 points against the Hall. Just 1 of 3 from the field. He's got 7 here in this game tonight. They're looking for Wahab, who's trying to make a move inside, but Young playing pretty good defense on him.
The high screen and roll right now as the shot clock gets down to 5.
And they try to go to Wahab. Now the Hoyas will have to jack it up. Blair does, and he misses. And the rebound fought for, pulled down by the Friars. White. Wahab comes out. That leaves a man open, and Khalif Young makes him pay.
It's just a quick fade by Young to the basket as Wahab tried to step out and help. Again, communication.
Good recognition by the passer to see him break free. Blair in some trouble, needs help. And that's blocked. Heck of a defensive play. Pipkins the other way. For White, tries the paint. Pipkins for 3, no good. Big rebound by Diallo. Score the field goal. He'll go to the line. Boy, the Friars have really come alive here in their last 3 possessions.
Yeah, they're trying to keep pace. You dump it down low and you look for a nice jump shot there by Khalif Young. Then obviously on the fade to the basket, good recognition. And then finally this outstanding offensive rebound by Alpha Diallo. Providence coming even. Granular about it. You know, they've got to continue to push the pace if they can. Obviously a shorter bench. And really find ways to get Providence in foul trouble to continue to get to the free throw line. Right now they're a plus 11 in free throw made. And you know, Providence is finding some difficulty in guarding Georgetown, and Georgetown's not turning it over.
Diallo now with 12 points, 6 rebounds, all of them on the offensive glass, like that last one that he had to put back on. So it's a 7-0 run now for the Friars in the last minute and a half. And they've got their first lead since they had one late in the first half. Nice move inside, strong drive, and that won't go. But Allen will find himself back at the free throw line.
And that's what I'm talking about, assertive play, being able to read the defense, take what it gives you, and then make sure you put pressure on them. And that's what Terrell Allen just did. Took it all the way to the cup, took the contact, and got the call.
Foul was on Emmett Holt, his second personal.
If Georgetown settles for jump shots or they take challenge shots at this stage, they're playing into Providence's hands.
Allen, a 78% free throw shooter. Look at the bench comparison. You've been talking about that the whole game.
Yeah, that's where Providence has somewhat of an advantage. They need to continue to press the issue as well.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just attrition. I mean, Georgetown doesn't have anybody to go to, really.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You know, you get enough guys in foul trouble, and right now there's only 2 guys really in foul trouble. Kudos Wahab with 3 fouls.
Well, that time Providence tried to go inside. Good defense by the Hoyas forces the turnover. And now Mosley with Pickett.
You know, Wahab has 3, Allen has 2.
Really good defense by Malik White. On a fading jumper, he got him on the arm, and that will send Allen back to the free throw line. White had played some outstanding defense on him right up until the contact.
Well, again, Terrell Allen knows how to play. Graduate student. He played at Drexel in Central Florida. And right now, isolated, he knows how to draw fouls. And that's where Georgetown's advantage is right now, getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's been that way really for the whole game as he makes that one. White picked up his third personal. And Allen gets one more.
So that's 3 guys for Providence right now to have 3 personal fouls. Watson, Duke, and now Malik White.
Wow, misses that one, and a foul on Georgetown. And it looks like it's going to go against Timothy Ighoefe. That's his second. So the Hoyas uncharacteristically missing a couple of free throws here. They're a good free throw shooting team. In fact, the second best in the Big East, 77%. Inside, nice move, good pass, and Alpha Diallo finishes.
When we talk about Jagan Mosley being able to play defense on a lot of positions, at that time he was just outmanned by Alpha Diallo, who knows his way around the block, and his team played with him in the high-low.
14 for Diallo. Shot no good, but right there, Pickett can't put it up and in. It goes out of bounds off the Friars. The Hoyas will get it back. Boy, Pickett had it point blank and couldn't put it in.
Yeah, and he needs to put that in. He needs to take it one step further. Look at Diallo playing with Mosley. Mosley trying to get in front, and Diallo wards him off nicely. And the pass delivered exactly where he wants it. Look for that opportunity a little bit more, as Providence needs to use Diallo.
Couldn't get that to finish. Ighoefe trying to get the rebound. That's going to be a jump ball with a possession arrow favoring Georgetown.
Well, Jamarco Pickett again with the offensive rebound and can't connect. But with that length, you got to keep the ball up above your shoulders as you continue to attack the basket.
Yeah, as soon as you bring it down, you're inviting trouble.
Right. And he's got, like I said, he's got a 7-footer's reach.
Pickett gets the inbound, guarded by White. Strong move, again it wouldn't go. Boy, they've had some really good looks. Had some short shots, just couldn't knock him down.
He was off balance that time, didn't gather his feet underneath him so he could power up. He's not the broadest player out there, so he's easily knocked off his pins. That's one area he needs to work on if he can.
Pipkins, excuse me, Lenny. And that's in and out. Ighoefe can't get it, but it's tipped right to Javon Blair. Just over halfway through this second half. The floater won't go down. And that is knocked into the back of the glass, and they say Georgetown was the last player to hit it and give it to Providence.
Now Georgetown down 1, starting to play with a little bit of anxiety. And they've got to realize they've got 9 minutes and 35 seconds left. They're at home. They can still run their stuff. They don't have to rush, and they don't have to force it.
Qudus Wahab checks back into the game for Timothy Ighoefe.
And plus they get to the free throw line often.
They went 15 times in the first half. Pretty play. Diallo knocks down nothing but net.
And that's a dangerous sign for Georgetown if Alpha Diallo gets started.
16 points for Diallo. Georgetown started this half 6 for 6 from the field. They've missed all 7 of their shots since then. So they've gone over 5.5 minutes without a field goal. That bounced off the foot of Allen. And here's Diallo. And he stepped on the line. That's White. That happens so often, doesn't it, Lenny, where guys get the ball near the sideline and they make that first move and they go out of bounds?
Well, since they've extended the three-point line, guys can't get that that feel for that area. And Diallo, again, resets and able to shoot over the small and Jagan Mosley. Remember, Diallo started this game 1 of 7. Providence's best player, leading scorer. He's getting on track right now.
Yeah, starting to find the rhythm. Allen muscling in the paint. That's a tough shot, and that wouldn't fall. Boy, they've had a number of those just come right off the rim.
Allen's playing by himself right now, and you can't do that.
Now, he's got to get his teammates involved and work for a better shot.
He's had some success, but at this stage, you've got to get others involved. You got to put pressure on the Providence defense, not just one guy.
Boy, that's a great play. Score the field goal. And Young will go to the line. That was a terrific pass to the big man in the paint.
Just a little bounce pass. A lot of people call it a pocket pass. I'm not there yet. I like the old-fashioned bounce pass on the move.
And they called a block here on Georgetown.
Just a nice roll by Young, recognizing where the opening was, and his teammates play with him.
Called it on Mosley, who picks up his second. And Young to the line to try to complete the three-point play. Can't do it. 5-point lead for the Friars. Their largest of the game. They've outscored Georgetown on a 6-0 run here. 13-2 overall. Here's Mosley. He's tripped up but just lost his footing. Diallo the other way. 2-on-2. Lays it up short.
Allen did a nice job of getting in his way. Mosley just getting up. And looks like he's hanging that right shoulder.
Yeah. See if he's able to get involved at all. Blair gets an open look, but he can't knock it down. And Mosley, meantime, is just dragging that right arm as he comes down the court. It's not what they need is another player who can't participate. Pipkins backs up for the three ball. It's good. And Patrick Ewing says that is enough. The Friars have come back with a big run. Georgetown has gone ice cold. And Providence has its largest lead of the game, 8 points, with 7:05 to play on a 9-0 run. Friars with their largest lead of the game, 8 points. And as if Georgetown isn't undermanned enough, Jagan Mosley on this play goes down on his right side. You can see him grab his right shoulder. And he really wasn't able to participate after that. And now he's sitting, so we'll see if he's able to continue to play. Meantime, Alpha Diallo is starting to find his rhythm after struggling here early. Lenny.
Yeah, last game against Seton Hall, 35 points, 11 of 15 from the field. He began this game just 1 of 7, but he has found his stroke. And more than anything else, it has come from him working the offensive glass. You put a couple in underneath the basket, hit a couple layups, see the ball through the basket. Once it goes through the basket, you start feeling better about yourself, and we saw him knock down a number of perimeter shots as well.
Yeah, he's too good a player to not start to feel it at some point. He's got 16 in the game, 7 rebounds and a couple of assists, and in the second half, he's made all 3 of his field goals. He's got 7 points in this stanza. So Mosley's able to stay in. That's good news for Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, I'm not sure they had an alternative.
Yeah.
Jagan Mosley, as short as the Georgetown bench is, and as valuable a player as he is.
Pickett, contact. They'll call a foul on Providence. And I think they're going to get it on Khalif Young.
Khalif Young is making the argument that he walled up, went straight up. And he kind of did, but he reached down.
Yeah, as soon as those arms come forward, that's what the officials use to determine.
Yeah, guys think at least consciously that their arms are straight up, but subconsciously always reaching down for the ball.
Yeah. I mean, and that's good defenders are learning how to do that now. If you can keep your arms completely vertical, a lot of times you'll get the benefit of that call, but once those arms come forward, they call you on it.
Yeah, as a secondary defender, you can wall up inside the restricted area as long as you don't bring those arms down.
Pickett makes 1 of 2. He's got 11 points, make it 12 points, and 11 rebounds.
Georgetown with pressure. Providence breaks it. You might expect them to attack it, but instead they pull it back outside and run their set.
Diallo for Young. Now Pipkins with 7 to shoot.
You can see they're looking for Diallo isolated on Mosley, but if he's not there, White takes it.
And he hits it. Off the screen, beautifully done. He got his shoulders squared up and knocked it down. And Providence has opened up a 9-point lead. Largest lead of the game, and a foul called.
Georgetown 0 for their last 10 field goal attempts.
Wow.
And that's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
Regardless of who you're playing.
Yep, not going to make that man happy.
Look at White on the drive, and they couldn't get the ball into Diallo, so ball movement at the top created that opening for Malik White.
Qudus Wahab at the free throw line. Mentioned he played at Flint Hill for Ricardo Reed. That's over in Virginia. Fairfax County was first team All-Met. First team All-State as a senior. Averaged a double-double. Led the Huskies to back-to-back Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference regular season titles. And last year's MAC Tournament Championship, where Stu Vetter was the great coach at Flint Hill when Dennis Scott was there. And that's a reach-in foul called on Mosley. And Patrick Ewing is steamed.
And he's asking the official, let him play. Going to double team right there. Just a little bit of contact on the bump, and then once he reached in, allowed the offensive player to kind of hook him, keep his arm in there. And that's what, I guess, induced the official to make the call.
Patrick played 4 years at Georgetown from 81 to 84. Four-time All-American. Pretty drive as Pipkins knocks it off the glass. And it's 63-54 Providence.
And Pipkins just won the individual battle. Allen against Pipkins. Quick move to get his head and shoulders past. Help side comes too late.
Pipkins in double figures with 10. 5:20 to play in regulation.
Wow, look at the hard heads by Young, but he leaves his man wide open.
Boy, that is a hard foul by Young. And it's going to send Wahab back to the line. Well, check this out.
Well, you see the hard hedge, 13 way outside. Nice job by Wahab to get to a spot where his teammate can find him and made himself available. And that was too far a distance for Young to travel from way out there to try to guard his man.
Young picks up his 4th foul as Wahab misses the free throw. He's not a good free throw shooter. We mentioned Georgetown 77% collectively. He's just 67% from the line.
And if you're Providence, I'm sure Ed Cooley wants to bring Young over to talk to him about the fact that sometimes you got to exercise discretion. You don't have to hard hedge 35 feet from the basket. You know, you get out there. If he's too far away, slip back and guard your man. Otherwise, you get exploited, as Georgetown did on that particular play.
Makes one of them. Some pressure now from the Hoyas in the backcourt. And Pipkins breaks that.
A smart play by Diallo not to give it to Pipkins in no man's land in that corner.
5 minutes to play in regulation. Strong move inside, but Watson can't finish. Hoyas get the rebound. Pulled away by Pipkins on a nice defensive play. It'll stay Georgetown's way.
Hard drive right there. You see Pipkins reach in.
Got a little bit of the wrist, too.
Hands part of the ball.
That's what they always say, Lenny. I know that. Allen drives, off balance, missed, but fouled on the play.
Well, Allen is doing essentially what Pipkins has done to him. Putting it on the floor and going hard, head and shoulders down. Looking to gain an advantage, going to the basket and trying to take the contact.
Pipkins gets his 3rd foul. Meantime, the Hoyas have gone over 10 minutes without a field goal. They are trying to stay in this game from the free throw line, but haven't really been helping themselves. They've made 1 of 2 the last 3 trips to the line.
And I mentioned it earlier, when you look at the discrepancy in bench points, and maybe Georgetown is getting worn down. They've had a lot of guys play 40 minutes or around 40 minutes over the last several games. And no matter what you do in practice, aside from not practicing at all, You know, it makes it hard for guys to recover.
And they get the steal, much needed for Georgetown. They started this half 6 for 6, but they're 0 for 10 since then.
I mean, you give some credit to the Providence defense, and certainly on the play like that.
Yeah, but their shot selection has not been good.
But even on the open shots and at the free throw line.
So now they're 0 for 11 with 4 minutes to play in regulation. 7-point Providence lead. Holt for 3, no good. And fighting for the rebound is Georgetown after White went in there to try to grab it.
And if you're Georgetown, that's the kind of shot you want to induce Providence to take. Takes all the pressure off the defense.
Blair from Mosley. Blair for 3, a little short. But they just haven't been able to knock him down consistently. Watson. Holt, bodies collide and crash to the floor.
That's what Ed Cooley wanted to see, remember?
Yeah, he said, if I don't see some bodies flying around this gymnasium, somebody's coming out of the game.
But he was talking in the first few minutes.
Opening tip, yeah. So there's still a player down. It's Malik White, but he's helped up off the floor. As you see the collision here, and there's a timeout with 3:11 to play in regulation. Rob, we're looking forward to that. Here we've got Georgetown trying to hang on and come back into this game. They opened up a 9-0 lead to start the contest, but they've gone cold here in the second half, and they've lost Matt McClung in this game. He won't return. And meantime, Providence finally got hot, Lenny, and Alpha Diallo found his rhythm.
Yeah, but it all began with the defense. We just showed you an array of outstanding plays for Providence, the things that keep them in the game. And certainly, you know, they're beating out shot from the free throw line. They're a -17 in free throws made, but they've made that up. Shoot 9 of 23 from beyond the arc. And also the bench has come in, and this is what I talked about earlier. The Providence bench has outscored Georgetown's 25-2, which means that a lot of starters are going to have to play even more minutes, I think, than Patrick Ewing wanted to. They have a short bench to begin with, and with McClung going down, makes it even shorter.
Yeah.
And I have to believe that the extra minutes and the extra intensity of this game, the physical nature of it, has taken something out of the Hoya legs.
Yeah, taking its toll a little bit as White tries to extend the lead. Back up to 9, and he does.
And again, to take nothing away from the Providence defense, Georgetown has still had open looks and not able to knock those down either.
Coming up on 3 minutes to play in regulation. And that's a turnover as Blair's pass a little too wide for Pickett.
And little things like that, that's also such a thing as mental fatigue.
And he loses control, but White able to collect it. Georgetown led at the half, 34-30. But have just gone cold here in the second, and Providence defense has really picked it up. Diallo's shot is off the mark. Rebound to the Hoyas. Another miss. The Hoyas have gone over 12 minutes without a field goal.
And that was an air ball, not even close.
Yeah.
Once again, I firmly believe that Georgetown's got some fatigue going.
Great block by Ego Efe with a lot of contact underneath.
2 minutes left to make a move for Georgetown.
They got to do it now. Somebody's got to find a hot hand. You don't want to foul him in this situation, but Pipkins does and stops the clock. And 2 shots are coming for Georgetown.
You know, a 9-point lead, not insurmountable. But Georgetown has to take smart shots. And on the defensive end, they have to continue to do what they've done over the last minute or so.
Pipkins picks up his 4th personal. Allen at the free throw line. Now 6 of 9 for the game. Look at the Big East standings, Lenny.
Yeah, Seton Hall maintains their 1-game lead over a really hot Creighton team with that buzzer beater.
Full court pressure. Diallo will break it with White. And now they can use some clock.
Smart to keep the ball in the middle to avoid the traps.
7-point lead.
And work the clock down to the nub. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
And Pipkins off the screen, and that is a killer for Georgetown. And a great shot for Pipkins, who knocks it down. He's got 13 points, 10 in this half. Allen for 3, got it. Again, the lead, 7, but just 1:10 to play.
More pressure. You got to extend the game and foul. I was just going to say that.
Yep. So this will send Diallo to the free throw line.
Just right there, Terrell Allen just finds an opening. You know, now the idea of desperation comes in. You know, Georgetown, if they wind up losing this game, other than aside from being the last 4 in, that's going to drop them in the net evaluation tool. And essentially, they may be one of the first 4 out. And for Providence, this is a quad 1 win for them if they can maintain this lead.
Blair, left hand, great shot. Cuts it to 5.
Making it interesting.
Yep. 20 points for Blair, and a foul called on the full court pressure.
Could also say Providence making it interesting by missing a free throw.
Yeah. Blair, second foul called on Blair. And we've got shots coming at the other end for Ed Cooley's team, trying to improve to 15 and 12 on the year.
And this is their second best free throw shooter. David Duke at 81%. Pipkins 91% from the line. But you throw all that out the window in the last 2 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, my
big
goodness.
rebound.
That was, again, brain cramp. No block out there.
By Ego Efe, yeah. And a man's rebound by Khalif Young. Well, he just ripped that one down.
Once again, it's either physical or mental fatigue that creates those errors. And Ego Efe mentally is probably kicking himself by not making the contact to give Providence another opportunity.
Allen picked up his 4th personal. Free throw made.
Pipkins, as I said, 91% from the line.
Coming up for Providence, Marquette, Villanova, Xavier and DePaul, both at home.
Yeah, 3 out of those 4 are another offensive rebound.
Off a missed free throw, you just can't have that. Not if you're going to give yourself a chance.
I'm telling you, it has to do with fatigue. And, you know, even though guys don't think that they're tired, you know, all you have to do is be a half step slow, or, you know, a bit slower in reacting mentally. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for Georgetown, but you can just see it.
Right. Saw Patrick Ewing, who played most of his college home games at the old Capitol Center, not far from here in Landover, Maryland. But back in the day, in his freshman year, played a small number of games at McDonough Gymnasium, which is over on the hilltop, seats only 2,400 folks.
And you had a chance to look at the schedule for Georgetown. There's still room to make statements, but this is not the statement Georgetown wants to leave here with.
Not only run out of gas, but run out of players. With the loss of Mac McClung, they didn't have Omer Yurtseven. It took Alpha Diallo a while to get going for Providence, but he found a rhythm, and he's been great. I thought Pipkins has had a terrific game here tonight. And again, their offensive rebounding, which they're known for, has been outstanding.
Yeah, they came along just when they needed to. Again, their depth wore down Georgetown, and their bench scoring absolutely showed it.
Tipped up, knocked out of bounds, and they'll give it to Providence with just 27 seconds to play.
Well, as we said, we looked at the remaining schedules. Both of these teams have an opportunity to make continued statements, but for Georgetown, this one has to hurt, losing at home, especially coming off that tremendous win in Indianapolis against Butler.
Season sweep for the Friars, who beat the Hoyas earlier back on New Year's Eve in Providence by 16. And a foul is called to stop the clock. You talked about the bench. Boy, that is decisive, 27-2 in favor of Providence.
And look, they got 74 minutes out of Providence's bench. Hoyas only 28 because there's nobody there, really.
Right. Mosley has fouled out of the game. And so Patrick Ewing gathers his troops to see who the sub will be. Hoya is about to fall to 15-11 on the year and 5-8 now in the Big East. The Friars will improve to 15-12 overall, 8-6 in the Big East.
And Mosley just 14 seconds shy of his 5th consecutive game. Of playing 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's Javon Blair who played that 40 minutes. He's only been out of the game for 3 minutes.
Yeah, Blair, Mosley, and Allen all played the entire 40 minutes at Butler Saturday.
And again, as I said, it shows. It has to.
Alpha Diallo wound up having a really nice game after a tough start. He's got 17 points.
Looking at these numbers, Blair, Pickett, those guys all have played significant minutes. This obviously, I think, knocks Georgetown out of that last 4 in. Again, losing a quad 2 game at home.
Yep.
But as we mentioned, you look at their schedule, they've got plenty of opportunities to, make statements and to kind of recapture that position again. It just puts them back uphill.
They'll be at DePaul Saturday, then at Marquette, Xavier at home, at Creighton, and home against Villanova. So that is it. The Providence Friars, after a slow start, come back to get the victory, thanks to our statistician Paul Evans and our stage manager Joey Delpo tonight. We look at the updated standings here. Georgetown now 5-8 in the conference, and Providence improving to 8-6 in the Big East. Diallo had a great game tonight, along with his points. 8 rebounds, 7 of them off the offensive end. 18 points for Alpha Diallo. Blair led Georgetown with 20, but they fall here tonight, 73-63. For my partner, Len Elmore, and our entire crew, Steve Buckhands. Now we send you to our LA studio for FS1 College Hoops Extra and join Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, and Jim Jackson. Providence prevails by 10. Have a safe night, everyone.
All right, guys, thank you. See Alpha Diallo getting pushed from behind a couple times as he heads to the locker room. Diallo has kept Providence moving, hasn't he, man? 72 total points in his last 3 games. I know you're going to talk about Alpha Diallo in a moment as we welcome you to College Hoops Extra here on FS1. Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, Jim Jackson here with you tonight. We're going to take you back out to D.C. Yeah, just because you make me laugh. We're going to hear from Friars head coach Ed Cooley in a moment. We're going to show you the highlights of Seton Hall, how they extended their lead atop the Big East with a buzzer beater over fellow ranked side Butler, and ACC leading Duke on the ropes in Raleigh.
Which makes your day.
No, not at all.
What? I mean, why'd you? Tonight. I mean, it's.
Let's talk about Providence here in this one. The Friars improved to 15-12, 8-6. They've now won 4 of their last 6. They now also have 6 quad 1 wins. They're slowly starting to work themselves up into the conversation of trying to be into that next 4 out or last 4 out, but they do have a couple of bad losses sitting in there. I'm sorry, is Ed Cooley ready? Oh. keep your thoughts to yourself
We're
for
ready.
the time being. You can ask Ed Cooley a question in a moment. There he is. There's Ed Cooley joining us live right now. Ed, you got Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, and Jim Jackson here with you. Let's start with the big guy. You said Alpha Diallo, after that 35-point, 10-rebound outing versus Seton Hall, it was the best game of his career. Where is he right now as far as his career in the form that he's in?
Well, you know, he's trying to carry us. You know, he's doing a lot of good things in practice. He's leading with his voice. He's leading with his production, and that's the Alpha Diallo we need moving forward. I thought he played great at St. John's, although we didn't win the game. But the last 2 games, I thought he's carried us emotionally, physically, and we can't worry about what he didn't do. I'm just excited what he's doing right now for the group.
Yeah, Coach, just to build on that point about Alpha Diallo, and it's Steve Lavin here. Congratulations again, another late season win. It's in the racing form. We've talked about it before, the Lazarus back from the dead. How many times you can do this? It's remarkable. But Alpha Diallo, a senior who's feeling it. Sometimes you've had a number of great seniors. It could be too much, the burden on their shoulders. Others see that finish line and they sprint towards it. Where is Alpha there in terms of that mindset?
Well, right now, he's Usain Bolt if we're sprinting toward the finish line. I mean, we're trying to do everything we can. We know our backs are against the game. We know we had some tough losses early in our non-conference, but, you know, we're trying to rally. It's not over yet. You know, we're a tough out for people. You know, we're not the prettiest team. We're not the smoothest team. All I'm trying to do right now is tell our guys to play with an incredible amount of confidence, embrace the opportunity to play in our league, and, you know, to get these quad 1 wins. They're really important. And then let the chips fall where they may when Selection Sunday comes. But we're trying to play for something, so we're far from done.
Coach Cooley, what's up? Jimmy Jackson. This is a 2-part question, okay? 2-part question.
Hey, first of all, man, I love talking to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys.
You got it. Okay, first one is basketball related, okay? It's going to be how do you package up these last 2 wins, kind of put that in the bottle, and continue to move forward with your team? And second, when I ask you this, I want to know the golf date we got later this summer, too. Just let you know.
Well, let's start with the most important question of golf. Hey, whenever you want to, hey, you're America's guest, so man, make sure I'm on one of those pass lists. And I'm a great caddy, great caddy. I think we need to play to who are we? You know, like I said, you know, we're not the prettiest team. We're trying to play inside out. We're trying to be opportunistic in transition. But we've really been trying to hang our hat on our defensive toughness and our defensive energy. I thought the last 9-10 minutes of this game defensively, we really stepped it up on the ball defense, ball screen coverage, and we were able to execute late in the shot clock.
All right, Coach Cooley, congratulations on the win. Thanks, as always, for joining us live. We love having you on Headset.
My Fox family, I love you guys.
All right, Lazarus, go enjoy the rest of your night right there.